This is the Terra 130 brushless carbon fiber FPV quadcopter, provided for review by GearBest.com. It's about half the size of the quad that I designed previously, and it weighs in at only 131 grams with the battery, so no FAA stuff is necessary. It comes with almost everything you need, including 2 sets of propellers and this USB thing to connect to it. Apparently, I can fit that giant plug, but not a micro USB port, and so instead, they use that port, which is behind this standoff, to connect to USB. You will need to supply your own radio receiver and appropriately sized battery. By default, it's set up for an S-bus connection, but it can take just about any type, including a full-size PWM receiver. The recommended battery is a 450-ish mAh 3S LiPo, so let's remove this top plate and see what's inside. The camera and the 300 milliwatt video transmitter are mounted to the top plate and can be unplugged from the flight controller. On the bottom plate is some sort of a little Naze 32 flight controller and power distribution board combination, which makes this thing very clean and tidy. In order to connect the flight controller to the computer, you will need to remove this standoff, and I'm actually not going to put that back. To get the USB thing to work, you have to go to Terra RC's website, find the page for this product, and then click the manual download. So then you download this little package, and inside that is a bunch of information and a driver to install. Now you can connect the flight controller to CleanFlight just like a normal USB cable. You can set this thing up just the way you like it with your favorite rates and flight modes, or you can just leave the defaults. Just for fun, I decided to do a little motor testing. So this is the accelerometer. Accelerometer measures acceleration in different directions, so it can sense vibrations, and so we can run up the motors and see what's vibrating. Woo! That is vibrating. That is not balanced. Oh, that's much better. Motor number 3. No, motor number 4. Alright, so it's mostly motor number 1 for me that's a little bit unbalanced. Oh my gosh. Let's do all the motors. .23 amps at peak. That's nothing. So this is a 6 amp ESC, and that is apparently okay. So the video antenna isn't very secure the way that it comes, and as I kind of expected, I think it got cut off by a propeller. There are lots of ways to prevent and to fix this. I took the linear dipole antenna out of one of these that comes with just about every FPV product ever, and soldered that onto the video transmitter. Then I used a zip tie and some heat shrink to hold it securely in place and to prevent that from happening again. I recommend doing this right away, and also do this to whatever receiver antennas you might have. It is pretty fast for like such a little guy, you know? I don't know how fast I'm going. You know where I'm at, Dad?
I have no idea where you are.
I wonder if you can go as fast as the quick runner. Okay. This is, I don't know how fast it is.
Well, we could time it. For a lap.
I guess you could, yeah.
Let's do that.
So here's my conclusion. I think this thing is super cute, and I like that it's all carbon fiber, brushless motors, and CleanFlight. And for the most part, it's a well thought out and clean build. The things I don't like are, the video antenna is probably going to get cut off if you don't do something about it. Access to the USB port is blocked if you keep that standoff there. It's a little bit overbuilt. I actually think I can't imagine under its own weight that you can break this frame, and the motors aren't very well balanced. And it feels a little bit underpowered, but that's just compared to the other stuff I've been flying recently. I feel that it's a little bit of a novelty. You still can't fly this in your house, and it's not exactly an outdoor rocket, but I've still had a lot of fun flying it. I've actually been very impressed with how good the camera looks and how good the reception is, even with the linear antenna. But the built-in DVR that I'm using compresses that analog signal into a pretty low bitrate digital file, and so it doesn't really look that great. It looks a lot better in the goggles. It's actually really great. So for the rest of this DVR footage, just like play your own music or something. Thanks for watching.